Hi there, Roger Connect, President, Universal Accounting Center. I'd like to discuss with you having the premier accounting firm. Regardless of where you are in this process, today I'd like to actually share with you the tips and tricks you need to have a successful business offering quality accounting, bookkeeping, and tax services. It's what we oftentimes refer to as becoming an accountrepreneur. First and foremost, you're obviously a business owner running your own company. But secondly, you're that accounting, bookkeeping, tax, CFO advisor expert offering quality services so you can get paid what you're worth. So one of the things that I want to emphasize today is a little bit of who we are. Universal Accounting Center started in 1979, and it's as a post-secondary school we've been working with accounting professionals for more than 40 years, helping them start and build successful accounting businesses. It's in this process that we provide quality training, certifications, coaching, and support to enable you to confidently and competently offer these services as an accounting professional. Regardless of whether you're starting or building your accounting business, this presentation is going to be for you. First and foremost, I'd like you to understand that this is achievable, profitable, and easy. Wherever you are in this process, I want you to understand that there is a turnkey system that you can implement to ensure that you're offering quality accounting services and getting paid what you're worth. Now, with that being the case, one of the things that I do want to emphasize here is that with this turnkey process, we've been developing it over 40 years to ensure that whether it be the marketing, the services you're providing, or the processes that you're implementing in your business to ensure that you're doing so efficiently and profitably, this is the discussion that you need to have today. Now, one of the things that I do want to point out is that there is a demand for accounting services. Some people sometimes wonder, how big can I grow my business? Or is actually there a need for these services? And I'm hoping to answer that for you clearly in today's presentation. The other thing that I would like to also emphasize is that in starting your business, this can be easy in the sense that it's very minimal to start your business offering quality accounting services, as well as growing your business. Very little startup costs, very little capital, and most importantly, very little expenses when also running the business from a month-to-month perspective. Some of the questions that I'll be answering for you today are, first and foremost, what are some of the obstacles that people face as they're starting or building their business? Some of those things that they need to address that we can resolve today. The second thing is we're going to address, where are the real opportunities? Where is it that you can find those potential clients and engage with them? We're also going to address things related to starting and building the business, different things that you need to be aware of that you can address and resolve very easily. The other happens to be marketing to get the potential clients. Where is it that you find them, and what is the messaging you need to be taking to them for them to see value in the services that you're offering? A lot of times people also want to make sure that they're charging properly for the services they're providing. Well, we're going to address pricing. And then lastly, we're going to talk about the 2 keys to be successful. 2 things that are essential for you to actually get paid what you're worth and have a very profitable business. Let me introduce you to a little bit of where Universal Accounting got its start. Consider the late 1970s, and the gentleman's name is Alf Bostrom. He was known in the community as the turnaround king. He literally was working with small business owners, helping them take their business and turn it around. Now, one of the things that was common is he would go into work with businesses that happened to be near bankruptcy. They were literally close to failing. And he would go in and offer them his services to help market and sell their company's product or service, but also turn the company around by saying, since you're about to lose everything, your home perhaps, send all the employees away and lay them off, I'll come in, and because you've not been making profit, ask for 50% of the profit moving forward if I can turn the business around. And from the business owner's perspective, they were obviously saying, well, if I don't turn this around soon, I'm going to lose everything. So he willingly would go ahead and say, Alf, let's do this. 50% of nothing, I can absorb that. If we made $100, I'd give you $50. And Alf would go into each of these companies and literally turn them around. I can honestly tell you that even today, some of these businesses still exist. Why? Because of the proven principles and techniques that he was able to implement with them, offering quality bookkeeping, tax, and advisory services. Now, it's from that the company actually started in 1979. Why? because many people that weren't necessarily clients of his were asking for his training for their accounting professionals, their accounting team, their office managers to go through and actually learn the principles that he was implementing with the clients that he had. And it's from that that a curriculum was developed, and from that a training was designed to actually sell and offer through Universal Accounting Center. Now, you can obviously expect that over the more than 40 years, we've refined, improved, updated the curriculum time and time again to ensure that you're getting the correct principles to actually start and build your successful accounting business. Since then, we've worked with companies around the world, helping individuals start and build their accounting businesses to offer these same quality accounting services. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Before I go any farther, one of the things that I'd like to address is your why. Obviously, there's a lot of information I'm going to be giving you here shortly, and in that process, I just want to clearly identify what is it that you're listening for and your why. The one thing that I can definitely tell you is, as I've had this conversation with hundreds, if not thousands of people, is that the clear understanding of their purpose is oftentimes lacking. And so I just want you to understand that the more clear it is as to why you're going to be doing this, the more likely it is that you're going to achieve it. Let me give you an example. One of the things that often holds us back from any type of success is literally fear. It's the fear of the unknown. It's the state of confusion. And when a confused mind is in that state, the answer is always no, because it's just not clear what needs to happen next. So I do want to encourage you to identify for yourself what it is that you want to accomplish as you hear all this, because the whole intent of this is to act, to move forward, to implement, to actually do something about it. So whether you're identifying your reason as financial freedom, you want to earn more, you want to supplement your income, that's great, that's wonderful. If it's a matter of freedom, you feel that you can actually, by being your own boss, get some freedoms and liberties that you don't otherwise afford or experience right now, that's amazing. Perhaps it's the fact that you're in a position with your experience that you feel you can give back and actually make the difference in many business owners' lives as you take to them the experiences you've had, your expertise, your skill. That's incredible. But the point is clearly define what it is you're trying to accomplish as you're starting or building your business. And in doing so, you'll get the clarity you need to actually move forward. Why? Because you have a reason, a purpose. You have actually something to motivate you through those challenging times. The one thing that I can definitely encourage you to consider is this phrase, this very simple phrase. Simply state, I am in the process of. I am in the process of. It allows you to take what's in the future and bring it to the present. I'm in the process of getting clients. I'm in the process of growing my business. I'm in the process of offering quality accounting services. I'm in the process of getting paid what I'm worth. Whatever that process is, bring it into the now. And in doing so, set that mindset that you need in order to be successful. Why? It's time you need to remove that doubt that you may have, the fear that you're perhaps experiencing. And as you learn these various principles that I'm about to share with you, actually take them and act, move forward, implement them, and do so confidently. So with that context, that premise, I encourage you to be teachable. Be teachable, be willing to listen, be willing to learn, and in this, actually try and implement the proven processes that you're going to be learning today. Now that you're ready to move beyond deciding, planning, let's move into executing. And the big part of execution is getting a clear understanding of what needs to be done. So one of the things that I want to understand is your business plan. What is it that you're trying to accomplish? So let's start with essentially what your needs are. And we're going to begin with the financial needs. We need to consider obviously the services you want to provide. So I'm going to break them down into 3 areas. Very simple. It's the bookkeeping and accounting services that you may choose to provide and offer to business clients. It is the tax services that you may choose to offer business clients, and perhaps the CFO and advisory services that you can also offer. Now, these 3 things are ones that you get to decide. It's your business whether or not you're choosing to do each of them. A full service accounting business would obviously include all 3. So with that context, let's go ahead and begin with what are the services you're offering, and then you need to, when doing that, define the benefits that the client receives when you're performing those tasks. Now we're going to get to the benefits here shortly, But in order to move forward, I think it's now that we need to look at your earning potential and get a clear understanding with your business plan is how many clients it will take to meet your financial goals offering one or more of these services. So we're going to start with bookkeeping, and we're going to keep this very, very simple. If you have a pen and paper in hand, this is going to be quick and easy. Basically, what you need to do is define on an annual basis how much revenue you need to be earning in your business. Now, once you have that number, just write that number down. We're going to now take that number and divide it by 6,000. 6,000 happens to be the average fee that a bookkeeping service will pay, or a bookkeeping client will pay for your services. Now that $6,000 a year is obviously $500 a month. That is the national average for bookkeeping services. So admittedly, you could be living in a market that charges much more than that. You could be in a more rural area that could be charging a little less than that. Either way, you're going to have clients that may be a little less than $500. You may have clients that pay you $1,500, $3,000 a month. Perfectly fine. But the average, let's just start there and use the numbers that we have. Using that $500 a month bookkeeping client, that $6,000 a year bookkeeping client, you just simply divide the annual revenue that you would like to earn for your business from that, and you've clearly identified how many bookkeeping clients it will take to meet your financial goals. Now, the first thing I want to clearly state here is you can literally have two numbers. You can have what you financially need to meet the lifestyle that you're currently accustomed to, what you would like to actually be earning to have a familiar lifestyle, and then your goals as to, here's what I want, this is what I think I deserve, this is what I'd ultimately like to have. Both numbers are excellent, but obviously the need is the most important one because that's where you're going to be meeting all of your financial obligations, and that's fine. Take that number, divide it by 6,000, and it tells you how many clients you're going to need. So in my example, let's just assume that I wanted to make $60,000 a year. I'm making $6,000 per client. I need 10 clients. 10 clients is very important to know because with those 10 clients, I need to understand how much time will it take on my part to service those 10 clients. And that brings us to our next point. When you're offering bookkeeping services, the average is about 8 to 10 hours a month to provide those services. So if I'm literally taking 10 hours, the most that it typically takes to do the work for a client, 10 hours into 500 means that I'm going to be earning $50 an hour. Now, my goal is to obviously figure out how through with processes and systems, how I can do it more efficiently and do it in 8 hours, do it in 7 hours, do it in 6 hours. That's my challenge, charging that same $500 average. But the beauty of it is if I know that I need 10 clients and the average client is taking me 10 hours, that obviously says that each and every month I'm going to be working how many hours? 100 hours a month. So 10 clients times 10 hours per client, 100 hours per month. Well, if I'm working, let's say part-time, if I'm doing, let's say 30 hours a week, 30 times 4 is 120 hours, more than enough to take care of the clients that I'm servicing. So the last point I'd like to make is on average, an individual bookkeeper or an accountant can work with as many as 15 to 20 clients, taking care of their monthly needs and obviously retaining them. So here's your formula. There's part of your business plan if you're simply offering bookkeeping services. It's the $6,000 a year that you're dividing into your annual want or goal, and from that determining the number of clients needed, and then quickly doing the math to determine do you have the bandwidth to take care of those needs on a monthly basis, realizing that at most they typically on average take about 10 hours a month to take care of. So there's your bookkeeping and accounting services. Let's now go into tax. The second core business service that you can provide and offer is tax planning and preparation. Tax planning and preparation is wonderful, especially if you're doing the bookkeeping and accounting, because there you're producing all the numbers needed to do the tax filing for the business. So what we want to talk about now is your ability to do the tax planning and preparation for your clients and getting paid for those services. So the first thing I want to do is just show you the financial element to it. You've got them as a bookkeeping client. They're paying you on a monthly basis to take care of their bookkeeping and accounting needs. So now each year you're going to be doing the tax filing. Well, on average, you're looking at more than about $1,500 per business client on average to file their return. And what we're going to do is actually take that and annualize that. take that fee, and rather than charging them during the tax season a lump sum for that service, we're going to amortize it over the year and charge them each and every month about $125, $150 a month to take care of their tax planning and their preparation. Therefore, when it comes tax time, they're not having to pay a lump fee for our services. We've already acquired them as a client. We don't have to worry about them come tax season looking for someone else. And in that time, we're not just doing the books, but we're looking at what type of tax strategies we can implement with the client. Now, the thing I want to emphasize here is there's an annual process to this that's more than just during the tax season, doing the filing or perhaps doing an extension. What it consists of is during the tax year, also doing planning. The way I would suggest you consider doing this with your clients is in the first quarter of the year, you're perhaps preparing all the returns and filing them as necessarily. The second quarter, what you want to have done is during the tax season, you're plenty busy, you don't have time for this, but you can set aside those clients where you've identified missed opportunities or things they can be doing in their business that would help them from a tax perspective that they missed out on in the previous year perhaps. So in the second quarter, you're going to meet with them, spend time with them going over these things that they should do in their business this new year. And then in the third or fourth quarter, meet with them again to ensure that those were implemented, but also to assess, are there any other tax strategies that need to be utilized before the end of the year to ensure that they're limiting their tax liability. Look at the tax planning you're doing, and now you're ready for the tax preparation, all of which your client is paying for on a monthly basis above and beyond the bookkeeping services that you're providing. So if you look at the lifetime value of your client, a traditional client that's paying you on average $500 a month, $6,000 a year, the AICPA says that the bookkeeping client stays around for as many as 6 or 7 years. So if we take 7 times 6 and get the $42,000 that that client is worth to you, and add to it then the tax services that you're providing, where you're charging perhaps as much as $2,000 a year for your tax services, doing planning as well, you could be upwards of $60,000 per client that you're retaining over a lifetime value of that business. Now, one of the things I want to stress here is just consider when you're taking on the marketing and sales process, that expense that you're incurring to acquire the client, you can see it's well worth what you're going to be ultimately paid as you work with that business over the course of 6, 7 years, getting paid tens of thousands of dollars to take care of their accounting and tax needs. Those are the first 2 core services that you can be providing in your business, earning obviously what you deserve as an accounting professional. Your third core element offered with your services beyond bookkeeping and tax services is CFO and advisory services. This literally is where you're now working with the business owner to bring your perspective and insights that they valuably need now to the table. Now, in doing this, one of the things that I want to emphasize from experience is that one of the things that you ultimately do need to have here is a process or system that you're going to implement with the engagement with the client. When you have a proven process that you're able to confidently deliver, you can easily take a client, offer them these services, and over the course of 12, 24, 36 months, easily work with them to work on their business, increasing their revenue, improving their profits, and building value in their business. This is huge. This is something beyond just the traditional accounting services that you're perhaps offering already. As a CFO and advisor, one of the things that I can share is going into this space was initially difficult. I didn't want to sell some service that 2 months into it, I didn't know what I was going to be doing with the client next. But when you do this with a proven process that you can take to the client month after month after month, you can confidently not only sell the service, get the engagement, but deliver. Now, the traditional service that you're offering is generally going to be on average between $1,000 to $3,000 more per month above and beyond the accounting and tax services that you're offering. So if you just exclusively wanted to offer CFO and advisory services, you could on average earn between $1,000 to $3,000 per client each and every month. Now, the thing that I'd like to emphasize here is in this space, I know of individuals that make much, much more than this, but as an equal service to the accounting that you're doing, you can easily take a client, offer the $500 bookkeeping service, the $200 a month retainer for the tax services, and on top of that, charge the additional $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 for the advisory services and have a very quality client that you're working with on a regular basis. Now, it's in this space offering CFO and advisory services that one thing you need to keep clear is, as part of your engagement, how often are you meeting with the client and what experience they're going to have beyond the learnings that you're going to bring to the conversation. So the one thing I'd like to just insert into this conversation is the fact that you need to identify, is this going to be a weekly, a monthly meeting with the client, and will it consist of group type mastermind meetings? All of these things are things you get to decide. This is your business. These are your services that you're intending to offer to your clients, and in the process, ultimately help them work on their business. Why? Because in this capacity, offering bookkeeping and accounting services, tax planning and preparation services, along with CFO and advisory services, you become for your client a profit and growth expert. All right, at this point, you clearly understand what you're doing, the services you're going to provide and offer, and the benefits that they're receiving with you doing this. But the need now needs to be identified. How big of a demand is there for this type of service? How easy is it going to be for you to grow your business? And the first thing needs to start with, are there businesses out there that need what you're going to provide? And the answer is yes. There are over, in the United States, just the United States, 27 million businesses that are obviously operating and functioning. And these are licensed ones. So we obviously know that there's even more beyond that that aren't even really licensed, that they're starting out perhaps as hobbies. But the thing that you need to realize is, in the economy, of those 27 plus million businesses, is 92% of them are what I would refer to as ideal clients. They meet two primary criteria. First of all, they have fewer than 10 employees. This is huge because having fewer than 10 employees means that they aren't large enough to employ or hire someone part-time or obviously full-time to do the accounting in the business. And second, they are in business over 1 year. They've established that they've got some cash flow. People want what they're doing. Obviously, there's a business there that needs to have their taxes filed. So we're at a position now where they're an established business that has a little bit of history and a cash flow. They have fewer than 10 employees. They're big, established, but not enough to employ anyone. They have to do the first and most obvious thing, which is outsource their accounting needs. I can tell you that the most common thing that is first outsourced by a business is the accounting. When you consider that there are three parts of a business that make up every company: marketing and sales, accounting, and production, the first thing that the business owner recognizes is the least favorable thing they wanted to do when they started their business is the accounting. It's that second thing. What we're talking about here is they're willing to do the marketing. The marketing is what they're excited about, talking to customers about their product or service. The third thing is the fulfillment, the production, actually delivering on that product or service that was sold. But the accounting? How many business owners put it off, lament actually processing this, doing this paperwork, filing this thing? All those things become cumbersome. In fact, not only are they done perhaps late at night after hours, but one of the things is that's not what they're good at. That's not where they make their money. That time that they're spending working on the accounting could easily be put somewhere that's more productive and revenue producing when outsourcing it to you. So is there a demand? Yes. There's obviously a frustration that the business owner experiences when they start and run their business, realizing that they're paying unnecessary fees and taxes. If they just had someone as an expert like you taking care of their accounting needs, they're going to be in a better position to have peace of mind and, more importantly, the time to do what they know and love best: the marketing, sales, and the production. So let's get ourselves in a position to recognize that there truly is a demand out there. Realizing that the ideal customer for you to market to is that business that's been in business over a year with fewer than 10 employees. They're the ones willing to outsource to you their accounting and tax needs. Let me share with you an example, a real-world situation that I'm sure you can relate to and identify with. It actually has some context based on a book called The E-Myth by Michael Gerber. And it's essentially this. He speaks of technicians having entrepreneurial seizures. And it's essentially like a landscaper that I know. The landscaper basically is working in his business. He's in his truck trying to take care of everything as the foreman while his crews are out taking care of the landscaping, the lawn care, and so forth. And one of his employees sees that, hey, My boss, he's just sitting in the truck. It's a nice truck. It looks like he's doing well. He's in the shade. I'm out here laboring. I can do this. In fact, I know that the business is so busy that he's even turning away work. And I could do it for perhaps even a little less and be happy. So the business owner is obviously running a company, and the employee realizes, hey, I can do this on weekends, weeknights. I'm gonna start my business, not realizing they need insurance, they need to do the marketing, they need to go get the contracts. But they start their business and they do some side things on weekends and evenings. All of a sudden they go out there and they start their business. As they begin the business, yeah, they're busy, they've got work, they're making money. But what's the one thing they are realizing after being in business for a period of time? All of a sudden, they're great marketing and selling and getting the work. They're fine doing the work, but the contracts, sending out the bills, getting paid on the invoices, managing the receivables, taking care of the invoices, doing payroll, taking care of payroll tax, maybe dealing with garnishments. All of these things aren't what they expected or anticipated as they started their business. They get into business because they can talk about it, they can sell it, they can fulfill it, but the accounting, that's where you come in. That's where you kind of address the first stress or frustration they're experiencing as they're running their business. That's huge. Why? Because now you're helping them with cash flow. The most common challenge or frustration many small business owners face as they begin their company, hiring employees, getting work. All of these things come to a head when the cash flow isn't working. So what you need to understand is there a demand out there for what you offer as a service? Can you do the bookkeeping and accounting for that client? Could you do the taxes that they're in desperate need of, managing those through the planning and preparation of those returns? Could you actually offer also CFO and advisory services to help them run and grow their business and budget and forecast appropriately? Of course, and that's what we're talking about here. Most businesses are great at what they do. They get into business because that's what they know and love. It's every business that's dealing with the accounting because again, every business has these three elements: marketing and sales, accounting, production. The benefit to you as an accounting professional is the service you provide is the same thing you can do for yourself. You just need to be able to market and sell accounting services and obviously fulfill and produce that product for your clients. You can take care of your own accounting. That's why this is so fun. Now that we've clearly defined that there's obviously a need for your accounting services, that businesses out there need what you have to offer, we need to talk about this turnkey process to get you the clients you deserve and getting paid what you're worth. This turnkey process is very easy to follow. It takes a little bit of effort, but I want you to understand it's tried and proven. So to get you started, one of the things that we need to begin with is your business name. Now this is very simple. Today, you just simply start and I give you 30 minutes to come up with some creative, fun name. Long ago, the day used to be you had to come up with a name that theoretically started with the letter A so that in a phone book you appeared at the top. Those of you who are old enough know what I'm talking about. Today, that's irrelevant. You can be as creative and as fun as you want. In fact, go online and see what some other accounting firm is calling themselves in some other state. If it's not taken in your state, perhaps you can actually use that one here. The point is after 30 minutes, if you haven't come up with anything cute, fun, and exciting that you can get behind, the best thing I can suggest to you is stop wasting your time and merely call your business your last name, accounting services, bookkeeping services, tax services, CFO and advisory services. All of those are plenty fine. Now, regarding your last name, if it happens to be difficult to spell or pronounce, maybe it has a bad connotation, Barry Madoff, for example, obviously you can avoid using it. But the point is after 30 minutes, just use your last name, accounting services, and be done with it. Now, with your business name in mind, you need to get a business license. Generally speaking, most people can go to their local city where they reside and go get the business license, or in the local county. Either way, it's generally a small nominal fee for you to get your business license, and you're now officially in business. After your business license, the next thing you need is business cards. It's not a big deal. The first advice I would have is definitely don't do something that you can print off of your own printer. Those perforated edges off of a sheet that you printed off, it just doesn't say you're a solid business that's going to be around tomorrow. It says I'm here today and I might be gone tomorrow. I'm just testing the waters. I'm giving this a try. You need to be a legitimate business. Start with some quality business cards. The business cards that you should be using, go to Vistaprint, go to your local printer. In fact, they may become a client of yours. Go out there, get quality cards. but keep them simple. This is accounting. This isn't anything creative like graphic art design that you need to be overly creative with your cards. Don't get glossy ones. You want to be able to write on them. Just keep it simple, nothing flashy or extraordinary. Now, after you've got your name, your license, your business cards, the next thing we need to do is look at marketing. It's the marketing letters. It's getting your message out there. One of the things I would highly recommend is getting a website. The website also, like your business cards, says that you're in business. You're in for the long haul. You've put a little bit of effort into actually having an online presence. See, for us, many of us actually don't have a storefront, and this is something to legitimize that we're actually in business. But your website doesn't have to be anything fancy, something extraordinary with a lot of bells and whistles, because the website isn't doing anything to sell the customer other than just confirming that you're legitimate, that you're in business, that you are offering these services. And that's it. Believe me, these people are not spending time on your website reading all the content. They're just trying to officially see that you're legitimately offering the services that they heard you're providing and be done with it. So don't assume that you need to be doing a lot. Now, from a marketing perspective, some people choose to actually, with their website, do blogging, writing content. That's a whole nother discussion, but at a minimum, you have an online presence. Now, as part of this, one of the things I would suggest is you need to actually get your business listing from Google. So your Google business listing is something, once you have your website, that you'll want to claim, and in doing so, actually manage, use it, post some content there, put some pictures there. All of the things such as your business hours, the services provided, those types of things are what you'll want to include as well. Now that you have your name, your license, your card, your website, let's start talking about marketing. When it comes to marketing, there are a few simple things that I'd like you to understand. First and foremost, that you need to leverage your competitive marketing advantages. This actually consists of your friends, family, and neighbors. It's literally working with the people that know, like, and trust you already to get the referrals you deserve. Now, as you work with your friends, family, and neighbors, there's a variety of techniques and strategies that we've proven and identified, but what I'd like to help you understand are the essence of those. The first thing is your messaging. You've got to be very clear in what it is that you're providing. Earlier, we talked about the services you're offering, those 3 core things that you get to choose from as to what you would like to provide. But the thing you need to understand is going to a client, a potential client, I should say, as part of your marketing message and saying to them something that sounds like Charlie Brown hearing an adult speak where it's wah, 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 does not resonate well with the client as you're explaining your services. We have to get beyond explaining what we do and more focus on what they get. So rather than talking about how we do bookkeeping, bank reconciliation, that we prepare financial reports, that we do tax preparation and file their returns, we need to get something a little bit more creative that helps them realize that they need to work with us because of what it is we do for them. So we want to focus on the things that matter most, such as, rather than tax planning, preparation, cash flow management, and management controls, which may sound great and perhaps are true, we need to focus on things such as legally lowering their tax liability, increasing the money in the bank, ensuring that they're profitable, or helping them earn or keep the money they make. All of those things are what you do as an accounting professional. If you were to legally lower their tax liabilities through the tax planning services that you provide before doing the tax preparation, they will be happy. If you're able to actually ensure that through your processes, the different things that you're helping them manage their cash flow to ensure that they always have money in the bank to meet their financial obligations, they will be happy. If you're able to ensure that by implementing various strategies, you can make profit a priority and be deliberate, then this is going to be something they're willing to pay you for. That is a core part of the marketing and sales strategy. Now, before I go any farther, I do want to distinguish between marketing and sales. Marketing is everything you're doing to identify potential clients, getting someone that is a business owner to actually be now within your marketing wheelhouse, what you're doing to now engage them at a sales level. Sales consists of everything you're doing to nurture that relationship to the point that they see you as the expert, the solution to their need, and are willing to speak with you about doing an engagement. Your ability to then close that sale is what comes in next. This is a process. It's a proven process, and it's one that you can comfortably do when you follow these various steps to ensure that your message is resonating, they see value in your services, and therefore are willing to pay you for what you do. As part of your marketing message, you'll want to adapt it to the season that you're in so that you're actually resonating with your potential clients, addressing the needs that they have. So for example, when it is now January through say the first, maybe into the second quarter, many business owners are just trying to close out the previous year and see whether or not they actually made money. Were they earning or keeping what it is they're making? Well, in that process, what you need to do is adapt your messaging to help them realize that in the fourth quarter into the first quarter that your job is to help business owners actually close year end and get everything ready for tax filing. Business owners that have been maybe procrastinating or putting that off will see value in what you're offering as a service and be willing to pay you. Now, once the end of the year has passed and tax season's behind us, one of the reasons why business owners then pay for accounting services during the summer months is because during that time, they're being pestered perhaps to take some time off. The kids are off from school, they need to be out going on vacation. Well, all of a sudden, they're realizing if I leave as the business owner, who's going to make payroll? Who's going to pay the bills? Who's going to actually take care of the accounting? Well, that's where you step in and you actually give them that freedom they need. Now, one of the things that I want to emphasize here is then once you're through with the summer months, you have clients that took the time off during the summer, did go on vacation, but they didn't have anyone like you working for them. So all of a sudden, third quarter rolls around and guess what? They're getting ready for perhaps their busy season. Let's assume that it's retail and they're going to be busy during the fourth quarter, but they've got this little molehill that's turned into a mountain in their absence and they're behind on things. They've got to take care of things. Well, guess what? You can step in and fill that void and obviously get on top of their books. All of these things are but opportunities for you in your marketing to share your message that can resonate with their situation and get them as a client. My point is this is a year-round opportunity for you to go out and get the clients you deserve. Stop putting this off. There is a turnkey process that allows you to actually go out there and get the clients you deserve. When your messaging is proper and effective, it resonates and they're going to be willing to pay you for your services. Next is pricing. Obviously, a lot of people want to know how is it that you're going to price for the services that you're offering. Now, admittedly, earlier I addressed what it is you should be earning per client, but how do you actually calculate the fee to charge them and actually get paid what you're worth? So I'm going to talk about pricing and give you a little bit of information that you can use to pick which is the most effective or perhaps the most comfortable for you to use. The first thing is hourly. It's very common, very comfortable, but it's definitely one that you should be familiar with. Why? Because there are going to be situations where it's back work or project or maybe training oriented that's just going to be short and sweet. Maybe it's unclear as to the duration, and you need to figure out an hourly rate that you can fairly quote or you can comfortably quote and get paid for. Now, the easiest formula to use for hourly pay is simply charging 2.5 times what it is you would do if you were to do that job as a W-2 employee. Now, the easiest way to explain it is this. If you knew that position was being paid, say, $20 an hour because of what it would fill through, let's say, Robert Half's salary guide, excellent. What we're going to do then is just take that $20 an hour and times it by 2.5, and we're making $50 an hour. Now, the reason for this is because you as the business owner, you're actually incurring the overhead, such as the employee tax, the workman's comp. You're dealing with the benefits that are needing to be paid. You're all of a sudden responsible for the computer, the desk, the chair associated with doing the work. You had to pay for the marketing to acquire the client. All of those things are what are being covered by that fee of 2.5 times. Now, I do have individuals that ask, well, can it be more? Well, of course it can be more. This is your business. But as a rule, it's typically 2.5 times what the going rate is for that position for the role you're trying to actually fill. Now, understanding the hourly rate, there are 4 others that you can actually consider. You've got hourly. On top of that comes next flat rate. Flat rate is simply just looking at the services you're going to offer, considering the number of transactions that are going on in the business, and using a formula, calculate what they're going to actually pay you on a monthly basis for the services you're providing. The next is then what's called menu pricing. I love menu pricing. It comes up all the time. Menu pricing is essentially looking at your services and bundling them into 3 distinct packages. What you're typically doing is taking the middle package and making it be the most appealing and the most obvious that most customers choose to use. They pay you for that package. So for example, you can say that option C is just bookkeeping services. Option B is bookkeeping and tax services. And then option A is bookkeeping, tax, and advisory services. The bookkeeping services is incomplete without the tax. And so most business owners will say, well, I mean, it's great, I've got the bookkeeping, but I'm still always going to have to pay taxes. So I'm going to go for option B. Option B is where most people will lie, but option C, or let's say A in this case, option A with the CFO and advisory services becomes a little bit more appealing for those that need your involvement as that CFO and advisor. All of a sudden you get maybe 10–20% of the people that are paying you at the level of the package A with the advisory services. You get maybe as many as 70–80% of the clients paying you for the bookkeeping and tax services, and then you just have a handful of people that are perhaps just paying you for the bookkeeping. That's a perfect menu option that you can provide and offer as a service for a specific fee for each of those. This is excellent. Now, the next one happens to be revenue-based. Revenue basically says you're determining what your fee is for your clients based on how much top-line revenue the client is actually generating. It's a good indicator of the number of transactions that's going to exist in a business. You can say there's thresholds. Businesses that make under $500,000 in revenue are this fee. People that make between $500,000 and $3 million are this fee. It doesn't matter. These are your thresholds. You get to pick, and all of a sudden you've got your pricing at a revenue-based level. The last happens to be value-based. The value-based pricing literally is going in and assessing what impact your services will have in value to the client. And after identifying what that worth is, the savings or the earnings that will come from your work, you're asking for a percent or a dollar amount associated with that. It's very common. You'll remember I shared with you at the very beginning the story of Alf Bostrom as the turnaround king. Literally, he's going in and saying, I'm not going to get paid for the services I'm providing until I'm profitable, that I'm making the company money. And once we turn the business around, give me 50% of what's actually earned. Well, 50% of nothing, happy to do all day long. 50% of $1,000, I'll give you $500. 50% of $10,000, I'll give you $5,000. All of a sudden, the business owner is happy to give you equity in the business and you're getting some value. That is one example of value-based pricing. Now, all of those, you get to pick which one best suits your need that you feel comfortable explaining to your potential clients. Now, in this process, I would encourage you to identify perhaps 2 that you choose to use when running your company. No more than 3 of those. That way it keeps it simple. You know what all of your services are, what you're charging your clients, and then you're basically going to go into when they pay you. Other than the value-based pricing, one of the things you need to consider with the when option is generally 3 things. It's either 1, you're getting paid before the work is done. As you're receiving all the information each and every month, you get paid as you're receiving it to actually do the work. Therefore, if they don't pay, you don't do. The second option is you get paid when you complete the work, when the financials are finished and you're delivering those, when you are filing the tax return, you're paid for that. And upon completion, you actually get paid. The one thing I can definitely tell you about both of those is you can sometimes run into situations where the business owner, in order to avoid paying you, kind of just disses you, ghosts you, in the sense that they're not giving you the work, therefore out of nowhere you don't have the work to do, or they don't meet with you to get the financials for you to be able to close the books, ultimately meeting with them. Therefore, because they're prolonging meeting with you, you're being put off getting paid. So the ideal generally is just to have a recurring billing that you're doing with an established client for a specific amount. And that's done on a particular day during every month. It's just a card you have on file for the business and you charge it on the 5th, the 10th, the 15th, whatever you've predetermined. And in doing so, regardless of whether they've given you the work or regardless of whether or not it's finished, you're getting paid each and every month for the services that you're providing. Now, those things obviously address the pricing. And with that, you're able to now go in clearly understanding what it is you do for your client, how you're getting paid, and because of the turnkey business model, what you earlier identified is how many of these paying clients you need to meet your financial goal. Thanks for getting this far along in this training program. Why? Because it's truly about you. My hope with this is to actually give you the confidence and competence for you to go out there and build the premier accounting firm in your area. The intent of this is to help you realize that there is in fact a turnkey process for you to get the clients you deserve, offering the quality services that you can to get paid what you're worth, helping them as business owners run their businesses more effectively and profitably. Now, in this entire process, one of the things that I'd like to clearly emphasize is that this has been developed and proven over decades of time, working with many accounting firms. In fact, thousands of individuals starting and building their accounting businesses. Like them, I'd like to invite you to actually get the support you need. We have a saying, it's basically this: you can be in business for yourself, but not by yourself with Universal Accounting Center. So I invite you to fill out the calendar right now and schedule a time to speak with my team, to share with us your experience, your background, your goals, what it is you're trying to accomplish, so that we can actually share with you best practices and, most importantly, point you in the right direction. We have a variety of programs specifically designed to give you the training, the certifications, the coaching and the support you need to confidently go forward and offer these services. It's the confidence to actually look a business owner in the eye as an accountrepreneur, as a peer, and let them know that you can take care of their accounting needs. It's the competence to then go back and actually do the work efficiently and effectively so you can profitably offer these services. Now, one of the things that I do want to point out when working with Universal Accounting is that all of our programs come with the quality of support that I hope you would expect. Why? Because first, you're assigned to what's called an orientation counselor. It's a specific individual that you're going to be assigned to work with for the next 12, 18 to 24 months. This is a period of time that you've got this one individual at your call to basically help you with any questions you have through the enrollment process. The second individual that you're working with is an academic advisor. This particular person is meant to help you actually learn and understand the principles so that you can apply them in your business. They're literally helping you as a tutor understand the concepts that you need to actually implement in your company. The third individual is a business coach. This particular person is someone that is in real life doing exactly what you're trying to do now. They are someone that with experience can give you their tried and proven techniques, their experience that you can lean on as a mentor and get the support you're needing. All of these individuals are there to assist and help you. You can also get access to other people, such as a life coach, that's meant to help you deal with some of the struggles you may personally face as you're rolling into this new experience, this new chapter in your life. All of these are available through Universal Accounting Center's programs to ensure your success. Why? Because if it's about accounting, it is universal. So take the time right now to quickly fill out the calendar schedule right now to find a time that's convenient for you, for us to talk, find out what you're trying to accomplish and how we may be able to assist you. And with that, understand this: accounting success is universal. Take care and have a great day. We look forward to speaking with you soon.